Welcome to this week's video. This week I get some new tires on the Volvo as well as replacing its tie rod and getting the front end aligned. Then I get some work done on the Goldwing, including spark plugs and fixing the headlight not turning off when you start the bike issue. Let's get right into it with the fun stuff. Alright, my tie rod end came in for the Volvo, and I'm also going to do the spark plugs in the Goldwing just to see if it runs any better. Who knows, they might not have been done since 1989. Can't hurt, only cost 20 bucks. But first I need to get this wood out of here, which means I need to try and get all the metal out of it and cut it up for firewood. So I will get started on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, those are heavier now. All right, let's zip this tie rod off and get it replaced here. It shouldn't be too hard. Famous last words. Well, normally I like to have two people to do this just because it's a lot easier. So how this works is there are two rulers, one on the front and one on the back of each of these things. And there's one on the back wheel and one on the front wheel. And so you tie it into the same measurement on the front of the front wheel and the back of the back wheel. And then you measure from the one on the back of the front wheel. And then that tells you how far out of tow you are. For example, if you take a look right now, we are very out of tow, because see that string? It's over by the 1 when it should be over by the 3, as that's where we have it plugged in up here. This side's a little closer. Since I didn't mess with the tie rod, it's going almost past the 3, as you can see. But it also is towed a little bit out, which is bad. Usually you want a little bit of tow in, I think. But I also do need to check those numbers, so don't quote me on that. So I'm gonna get under there and get the other one loosened up, because obviously this one's loosened up because I just did it. But this one might be very tight, so I'm gonna get under there and do that. There is a lot of some sort of oily fluid under here. I did notice the power steering making weird noises. That would not be very fun if that had gone bad. Let's see, is this power steering over here? That looks pretty darn dry. Well, I do have some power steering fluid lying around, so let's just top it off, but there's some big leak somewhere. But this is leak stop, so maybe it has the power to fix a big leak. Let's see if we're even on the mark after the rest of that bottle. Oh yeah, it's right at the minimum right now, so at least that should make it to stop making noises, but that does not solve the problem. Unless it does. All right, back to trying to loosen this stupid nut. That took a lot longer than expected, and it's getting kind of late, and I don't feel like doing the spark plugs tonight, so I am gonna head inside. At least we need to get one issue fixed, even if it still doesn't drive perfectly straight. So like I mentioned earlier, my parents were in town this weekend, so we went down to the park and looked at the lilacs since they're in bloom right now. Here my dad and I are sheltering from the rain underneath one of the bushes. Then we went to the Torchlight Parade in downtown Spokane and did get quite wet, but fortunately not shot. And finally, what you're looking at right now is a couple of videos of some cute little guys we saw in the park with the lilacs. After my parents left on Sunday, I did have a bit of time to work on the Goldwing, so let's get right into that. Well, I don't know if you can hear this, but it is raining outside, which is going to make for a very nice working environment tonight. But my parents came over for the weekend, so I didn't get much done, but it's Sunday evening now, and I thought I just might get to the spark plugs on the Goldwing and maybe wire in the headlight to turn off when you start the bike. We'll see what I get to. But first I need to tidy up. I need to put away the alignment kit stuff, and our chairs got wet at the parades, so those are out drying. I need to put those away, and I need to crack a cold one, because why the hell not? It's what I used to persuade myself to get out here tonight. These parts, hopefully you'll see in next week's video. They are from IPD, as one of the employees so kindly drew on here. Then on the other side, we've got ourselves a little bee. You'll get to see me install all these parts in the Volvo before we take it camping, maybe. I don't know if we're gonna take it or the Crown Vic yet, but next week should have camping in it. Anyways, let me just get to tidying. Enjoy the time lapse. I still got to decide how hard I want to go on this, if I want to try and restore the wiring to stock, or if I want to wire in my own relay, or if I just want to wire in a switch to the headlight, which of course would be the easiest. I did end up opting for wiring in my own relay. However, I didn't finish putting the bike back together that night because it turns out one of the bulbs is out. So the next day I did go get that bulb and got it back together. And let's cut to that really quick right after I call it quits for the night here. Well, we didn't get too much done today, but we did get something done. So there is that. All right, it's Monday now. I'm back out here with another summery drink. And I got the bulbs for the headlight, so I'm just going to throw that back in. And hopefully I'll be able to get the spark plugs done today. And then we'll be done with this thing for a little bit at least by the end of this video. That's about what the plan is. Let me get started. Well, I'm too impatient to put the plastics back on that side. Let's see if it runs any better. I don't think it will, but you know, we'll see. Oh. Obviously, I haven't ridden it yet, but it almost seems a little more better. Very technical, I know. But it almost just seems like it just is a little more eager to rev, even though it's still cold. Because before, when it was cold, it just kind of wouldn't really rev at all. Still works, it was cheap, and it was easy. So nothing really was lost if it doesn't fix all of the issues. Oh, geez, it just started pouring. Well, I'm not going to get my biking jacket wet, so I'll just take this thing for a quick little spin in the rain, and I'll let you know how it goes. Sure seems to start a lot better now, so maybe I did fix that problem. So last time I took it out in the rain, the throttle was also very hesitant. Like it would work well at full throttle or none, which in the wet with that much power is not a good thing. So this might actually be a good test to see if it works any better. A little wet. It doesn't seem to run all that much better, but it runs a little better. Alright, well that's it for me this week. Cut to the outro I recorded last night. See you next week, hopefully. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see what I'm up to next week, hit the subscribe button. And if you think there's something I could do better, well, leave a comment. But for now, it's my bedtime. Good night.